A decade ago, skipping meals was considered a fitness sin. The common warning was that it would crash your metabolism and lead to immediate muscle loss. Today, the data shows those fears were largely unfounded. The challenge for most people isn't the science, it's the logistics. If you decide to start, you immediately hit a wall of competing protocols. 16-8, the warrior diet, OMAD, making it difficult to know which one actually fits your life. Strip away the hype, and fasting reveals itself as a behavioral tool, a way to engineer a calorie deficit without the mental fatigue of traditional dieting. Every fasting window forces a choice between two variables: the number of hours you spend not eating and the amount of effort you have to spend counting what you do eat. This means there is no universally best fast. The right protocol is simply the one that balances your schedule against your natural tolerance for hunger. One of the biggest obstacles to long-term success is clock OCD, the unnecessary, overwhelming stress of feeling like a failure because you broke your window by a few minutes. If you accidentally eat an apple 30 minutes after your feeding window is supposed to close, your progress doesn't suddenly reset. However, consuming thousands of unfilling, empty calories perfectly within your scheduled time frame will stop fat loss in its tracks. Look at how this plays out. On the left, we have a strict 1-hour OMAD window, but it's filled with 3 pints of ice cream totaling 2,500 calories. On the right, a wider 4-hour window filled with a whole rotisserie chicken and vegetables at just 1,300 calories. The rigid timeline on the left fails because the food density is too high. You can finish those 3 pints in an hour and still feel physically hungry, despite overshooting your energy needs for the day. Fat loss is dictated by your total caloric intake over time. Obsessing over the clock instead of the food quality creates high mental friction for zero additional biological benefit. The 16-8 method is the most common entry point. It usually involves skipping breakfast and eating all your meals within an 8-hour window, like lunch and dinner. This approach minimizes daytime hunger and allows for a normal social life, making it easy to maintain if you're used to eating dinner with family or friends. The trade-off is that an 8-hour window is wide enough to graze. It is remarkably easy to snack your way through those 8 hours and completely erase your calorie deficit. An 8-hour window allows for multiple meals. If not managed, they stack up and break through your daily calorie threshold. With so much time to eat, you can't rely on stomach fullness alone. You must actively practice portion management. To make this work, break your fast with a meal high in protein and fiber. This fills your stomach early, reducing the urge to continue snacking throughout the rest of the window. 16-8 is best for those who value social flexibility over the freedom to eat massive, uncounted volumes of food. If you prefer to eat until you're completely full, the volume approaches might be a better fit: the warrior diet at 4 hours or OMAD at just 1. These methods remove the distraction of food during the day. By avoiding the process of digestion, you bypass the typical blood sugar swings that cause afternoon energy crashes. Then, in the evening, you can eat a massive, satisfying meal without needing to track every single gram. Here, the math changes. Trying to fit 2,500 calories of lean chicken and vegetables into your stomach means hitting physical capacity before your calorie limit. With whole foods, your stomach naturally regulates. The physical volume does the work. However, these protocols require a difficult adaptation period. Your body is used to releasing hunger hormones at breakfast and lunch, and it will take time for those signals to quiet down. Most people face a week or two of irritability and low energy while their hormones adjust to the new schedule. In short, you are trading 10 days of physiological discomfort for the long-term freedom of never having to measure your portions again. This brings us to the most common question: can you use these windows to eat things like pizza or ice cream? The risk is that processed foods are physically small but calorically dense. They don't take up much space in the stomach, so they don't trigger the fullness signals that make the warrior diet or OMAD work. If you want to include them, you must hit a target of roughly 0.7 grams of protein per pound of body weight before eating anything processed. Prioritize protein first to ensure your nutritional needs and satiety are met. Once reached, you see exactly how much room remains for processed foods. Including these requires meticulous data entry in a tracking app to ensure calories don't spiral. If you want variety in the types of food you eat, you have to accept the extra work of managing the math. Choosing a protocol is a calculation of your daily schedule against your personal preferences. On our decision tree, first ask, do you hate tracking calories? If yes, can you tolerate intense daytime hunger? If you don't mind tracking, do you want processed foods? If you hate math and can adapt to hunger, choose OMAD or the warrior diet. For this path to succeed, remove easy-access snacks from your house. During that first week of hunger, your environment will matter more than your willpower. If you need to eat with others and need energy, follow the beginner path, a 16-8 window prioritizing whole foods. For flexibility to eat pizza occasionally, pick any comfortable window, but use a tracking app for every meal. Fasting should be a tool that supports your life, not a source of constant stress. Pick the protocol that matches your psychology, survive the first week, and let the results follow.